I'm Mel,
And I'm Andrea.
and we've been asking ourselves, WTF? Where's the fun?
So, welcome to our podcast for heart-led business leaders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More impact, more wealth, more joy, and more magic, all while having even more fun than ever before.
As co-founders of FunX, we believe that life and business is way more fulfilling when you're following the fun.
So we're flipping the script on success, giving you permission to create from a whole new paradigm where you can have a lasting impact while nurturing your well-being and having a freaking blast along the way.
So join us each week for engaging solo episodes
and real conversations with experts who are embodying this new paradigm of leadership, spiritual wealth, business growth, and of course, fun.
If you're ready to reignite your spark, make bold moves, and lead from a whole new energy,
let's jump in and have some fun.
Welcome back to WTF. Where's the fun? I'm Mel.
And I'm Andrea.
And today we want to talk about worrying and why the fuck it's a waste of your time.
All right, let's dive in because this is actually something that it's so true. And we did an episode maybe, I don't know, a couple months back about a book that we had been reading, and it's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And there's a kind of a phrase in there that has really stuck with me. And I noticed myself even yesterday when I was going for a walk saying it to myself. And I find that it's such a shift from, I think, what we've been basically programmed to do, which is worry and think of worst case scenario. So in the book, it just talks about
Well, what's the saying?
there's two. So there's one where basically there's this guy and he sees this sign on the wall and it says like, why worry? It's probably not going to happen anyways. So he like basically took that statement as truth and basically programmed his subconscious to be like, you're right. What is the point of worrying? It's probably not going to happen. And the one that I think stuck with me is like, why worry ye of little faith?
Yeah.
And why I think that one stuck with me is because I was like, what am I worried about? It's like, I'm obviously not trusting. I think that's the key.
And like with that saying, it's like, if you are worrying, it's like, that's where your faith is going. So
It's like the inversion of faith. It's
Yeah.
like the opposite. It's fear. You're in fear or you're in faith. You're in fear or you're in fun.
yeah,
And why I think this is so important for our next level of joy and success and abundance is it just takes a lot of our energy.
I think when worrying is such a waste of your fucking time. Like I swear when I look back, like we're 40 now, and when I look back, I'm like, man, I worried a lot in my 20s for no reason other than the fact that like you're programmed as a child. And I think it's because we had baby boomer parents who went through all of that stuff. And I think that's just like how it was ingrained. And like all these sayings is like, expect the worst and you'll get something good, or you won't be disappointed. Expect the worst and you won't be disappointed. Well, no, like if your focus is on the expecting the worst, then that's what you're probably going to get. So why worry? To me, it's like change your focus, change your energy. It's like, why worry? It'll probably never happen. And that kind of like sets the tone for being like, oh, you're right. I'm focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I need to focus on the thing that I actually want and call that in.
I think it's also part of like interrupting the old pattern. Awareness. It's having more awareness because our thoughts just go on. And most of them, they're not even like conscious thoughts. They're just continuously going through a loop. And it's like most of it is just nonsense. It's like we're just making up stories over and over again that actually have nothing to do with what's the truth, because most of them are, you're right, reverted patterns from the past.
And in real time, I can give you an example of this is I got a text message last night from somebody and they said, we need to talk. And immediately, like, I'm like, something's wrong. The worst is happening. The world's ending. And you were like, you were so good with me. And you were just like, no, it's going to be fine.
I'm like, just I'm like, hold on. And it's funny because on the walk, what I was saying in the situation is like, the more we try to control, the more there is to
Yeah.
control.
So true.
So just putting the intention out there that like however it feels to you, but for me, it was like the universe always has my back, or like the universe is smarter
Yeah.
than me. It's like put out there the intention, but then trust that the best case scenario is going to come out. I think that's part of it.
I think it was so funny because you were being so conscious and aware, and I think I was just being unconscious and just running a like program from back in the day. And then, but you were just like, no, 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 it'll be fine. Don't worry. And I was just like, yeah, why worry?
But you want to know why I got to that point? Because that whole week I've been worrying about dumb things, and I started to pay attention as if I'm
Yeah.
like watching a movie, and now I'm just like not in a mean way, but it's like shut up. It's like, I don't want to listen to this narrative.
Like you're
anymore.
telling this thought, this
Thought, and I'm like, you know what? No, that's not the truth.
I
I
love
can
that.
reframe it.
Yeah.
I'm done listening to this because it's true. It's like there's so much nonsense going
Yes.
on that actually has nothing to do with what's actually happening.
So how can people take a little step in almost like protecting their thoughts from going down into the doomsday?
I think part of it is not trying to control your thoughts, because if you try to control your thoughts, that's going to be an unwinnable game anyways. But starting to shift into awareness and asking better questions.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of just how you can go down this train. And for me, I think policing was such a great example of you're literally programmed to
Expect the worst.
expect the worst, to find the worst, and to plan for the worst.
Yeah.
So then I got to a point where like I would be thinking 10 steps ahead of the worst case scenario of the worst case scenario. And I get why they do that, because they want you to be prepared. It's again, I don't think it's the best approach, because you're not coming from a state of thriving. You're coming from survival. But starting to become aware of where is your energy going. So back to the policing example, I got to a point where I was like, I was waking up in this old pattern of worry. Then I'd put on the news, then I'd get to work, and then I would listen to a worst case scenario, and my whole body was like, oh my God, what's happening? So I had to start interrupting the awareness, or
It's a
the
fun time in our marriage.
God. So I had to start paying attention, being like, if this is what I'm programming myself for, which was fear and worst case, I got to the point where I'm like, but what if I start programming myself for best case?
Yes.
And I just started with simple things. I stopped doing the same things that I was doing each morning.
Like we stopped watching the news like over 15 years ago.
For sure. I didn't listen to the news. I was a school officer at the time, and I would go into the schools and be like, the students would be like, did you hear about this that happened? I'm like,
No.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, I'm barely listening to my police radio right now. It's like, and then I didn't miss it. Wanted to give a special shout out to Aaron Cisco, who is the founder behind the Capital L Business Impact Award. This is a $50,000 funding program supporting Canadian women entrepreneurs who have been left out of traditional funding opportunities. So created by Aaron and powered by the Alliance Network, this national award is Canada's largest collaboration project for women entrepreneurs. With 29 partners, 27 of them are women-owned businesses working together to provide cash and critical business services. So there is a whole breakdown of what you can get for these awards and how you can apply. Application opens September 2nd, 2025, and the deadline is October 28th. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, you can follow Aaron Cisco on socials. You can check out the Alliance Network. There's more information there. And she's doing some really cool things for women-owned and operated businesses. So starting to do little things like that was super helpful. And then replacing those negative worry thoughts with something, I wouldn't even say positive.
Yeah.
I would just say something that brings you either more joy or more centered, more peace.
Yeah. I think too, it's like, I think one thing people do unconsciously is they make up stories about like, well, if I do this, this person is going to think this way. They're going to say this thing to me. It's like, or say no, like be the gatekeeper in your head of your thoughts and stuff and just say, no, that's not going to happen. What if what if I still do this thing I want to do or say, and it's the complete opposite reaction, and they're actually like supportive, and they're cheering me on. Like,
Yeah.
if you can start like working that muscle of the opposite outcome, like the possibilities outcome, like how great this would be, then you start just developing that habit, and then that's going to become your new program.
Exactly. Same with
Yeah.
like the questions you ask. So like, let's say I'm like, I don't know. You ask, I think, poor quality questions, you're going to get
Yeah.
poor quality answers. If you ask like high possibility questions, but starting to play in that energy. And I think it's almost easier to
Yeah.
focus on best case scenario, even if you're saying it out loud,
Yeah.
because then it's not this like
Loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, one thing that I noticed is if I'm in my thoughts all day by myself for long periods of time, I can start going down the train of just making up stupid stories. Opposed to like starting to even like I've started talking to myself out loud.
Yeah.
And what that does is like, oh yeah, okay, it brings me back to like this present place. But also when we have time together, it's like I love getting to play in the possibilities together. So almost like putting in practices. So this is the most long-winded way of answering your original question, like what can you do now?
Yeah.
Find situations, create situations where you can start playing in best case scenario.
Yeah.
And it might be finding someone else to have that conversation with,
Mm-hmm.
but the right person, the right people, the right energy, even yourself, the right environment to do it. So let's practice right now.
Okay.
So what is something that you want to play in for best case scenario in
Best case
the
scenario.
next couple weeks?
That travel is smooth and ease and flow, and like every like city that we're in, we're like, this is our favorite city, and then we're like, no, this is our favorite city, like that.
So what are some things that you can do to start playing that energy now?
I think just like focusing on, oh, I could start researching little coffee shops for like the areas, that little pockets we're going to be in, be like, oh, I want to go check out that little market, or like that little coffee shop, or the restaurants. I love food so much. It brings me joy.
So can you see the shift in energy even from you just shifting your focus
Yeah.
from, oh, well, what if the travel day doesn't go good, to now, okay, I'm prepping for my good.
Yeah.
I'm prepping for things going well.
Yeah.
For me, another thing that I like to do is to actually visualize and see it going well.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes me a little bit to get closer to the actual date to really do it. But the more I allow myself to like actually see it going well.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, it's like, we're just human, so we will slip up on certain things. Like, they'd be like, oh, but what if we were delayed, and we didn't get to this thing on time? And it's like, that's when you have to be like, why worry?
Probably not going to happen.
Probably not even going to happen. And you say that over and over and over, and then all of a sudden it honestly takes a weight off your shoulders, and you do feel better.
1,000%.
Yeah. All right.
I love it. So play in the energy,
Stop worrying,
and have some fun.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to WTF. Where's the fun?
We're Andrea and Mel, and we're so excited to be on this journey with you to see how fun it can get.
If today's episode brought a little bit more fun into your world, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review.
And remember, life and business is so much better when you're following the fun. So let's have some fun.